Good morning and welcome to WCYN's Coffee Break Extra on Genuine Country, 1400 AM. Today's program is being brought to you by E.D. Bullard Company, Woodman Light, see Jeff Doyle on South Main Street, by Down to Earth on Pike Street in Cynthiana, Bully Bashers, Ewalt Jewelers on Main, and our College on the Hill, MCTC Licking Valley Center. 34 degrees right now and sunny skies in downtown Cynthiana. Good morning, Mayor Smith.
Good morning, Terry.
Beautiful day.
Yes, it is a beautiful day.
It's already warmer now than it was all day yesterday.
I know.
So.
I'm actually quite warm in here.
And you got a lot of people in there with you this morning.
Yes.
Good-looking crew.
It is a good-looking crew, and I know it's going to be an interesting show because we're going to hear some perspectives that may not be United States perspectives. We've got some folks from Sweden in the studio today.
International folks.
Yeah, my show is international now. I'm an international talk show host.
On that note, before I say something I shouldn't.
Welcome to Coffee Break Extra here on WCYN on if you 1400 AM. If you have to leave your computer, you can always stream us live, all of our content. Go to www.wcyn.com. We also have an app you can download and listen to us wherever you are. But my show today, I've got a returning guest. You go by Jakob, but your real name is Jakob, right?
Yeah.
So I got it right.
Yeah, if you say the full name, it would be Jakob Christopher Wendesten.
Okay, well, I can't say that.
So Christopher would be like Christopher. And Wendesten, it's a W, but in Sweden we don't pronounce the W like W. We say we call it simple V now, just single V.
We make it simple.
We make it very simple, just Wendesten.
Now, if people were listening, I guess it was a couple of months ago that you were on the show. You are the, I'm going to call you the new minister, even though you've been here for a few months, the new minister of
New Beginnings Worship Center. And that is in the address is 103 Marshall Avenue. If you've not been there, so that's where it's located.
Yeah, Marshall Avenue is it's up. If people don't know where Marshall is, it runs between El March. It comes out on El March. No, it doesn't come out on El March.
Well, it's very close. It's close to El March.
Terry was just correcting me. So
it's between Wilson Avenue and Oddville Avenue.
Wilson and Oddville Avenue. Okay.
Yes. Because I really don't know either. I still have a hard time finding my way.
You just know how to get there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Wilson is parallel. Wilson goes.
Yes.
And you can actually come into the church from Duffy Alley too.
Duffy Alley, that's what I was thinking that comes out on.
I think it's pretty close to the high school, actually. I was talking to the pastor of the Assembly's...
Assembly of God?
Yeah.
And they are right at the high school.
Yeah, so I think we're actually pretty close to the high school. I've
well,
not been at high school, but I've passed... I don't know. It's somewhere in City.
You just know how to get to the church, right?
Yeah, that's the only way I know.
Well, you brought some guests today.
Yep. And not only my guests, it's actually my family. So this is my mom and dad here and my wife.
Okay, well, I'll let you introduce them.
Yeah, to my right here, if you can see you can't see in the station here, but I'll kind of paint the picture for you here. To my right is my wife, and her name is, you just say it yourself.
Shanna.
Her name is Shanna Wendesten.
Do you struggle with saying her name?
Nah. She actually struggles saying my last name.
I don't know my new last name.
You don't know your
No. It's hard saying my last name.
And to my right, my mom is in the show, but she told me that she don't want to talk today because she's struggling with her English a little bit. I think she speaks pretty good English though. Yeah. But her name is Annika. Annika Wendesten.
Annika.
Mm-hmm.
Annika. I got that right?
But the most Kentuckians say Annika. They pronounce it Annika with a long A. And then at the end here we have Richard Wendesten. That's my dad. He's 52.
Almost 50.
Almost 50.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to Cynthiana. Is this... I know you've been coming with him when he preaches. Is this your first time to Cynthiana, or have you been here before?
Yes, it is. In Cynthiana, we were here last week, Sunday. Oh, it's this
you
week.
You preached last Sunday night.
Yeah. In English.
In English.
First time in English without an interpreter.
That took me by surprise. and I was joking. Before the meeting, I was imitating, Seb McCahan. You remember him? How the West was won.
Yeah.
My name is Seb McCahan. I'm looking for my nephew Luke. Seen him around here. And I go around in the church and pretend I preach in English. And I said to my wife, I'm going to preach tonight.
And they put you up there.
Yeah, and he said it to my son. And when it's for me to go up and preach, I said, where's your microphone?
Yeah, he was thinking I should interpret for him. But I said, you can do it by yourself.
Yeah.
And he did a good job. I was proud.
Yeah. And I let him preach Wednesday night too, yesterday actually, and we had a great time.
Well, good. How long have you been preaching?
I have been preaching for 30.
If you were 20, you were 20 when you started preaching.
Yeah, 20, yes. 33 years almost.
30 years? Wow.
In Swedish.
In Swedish.
1 week in English.
1 week in English.
Well, now you can say you're an international preacher.
Oh, absolutely. Like your show.
Like my show, it's an international show.
A worldwide preacher.
Yeah. That's right.
I really liked it here in Cynthiana. And to start your first preaching in a congregation like that, with nice people, warm and lovely people.
Southern hospitality.
So it's a great start. You get all the grace you need,
Right.
Right. So I was so pleased.
Well,
on the way home in the car, you are something special, hey boy. I felt so fine.
You felt so proud of your son.
I felt so fine. I won the West, like Seb, But this is not the West. This is
we consider this the Midwest.
The Midwest.
Yes,
okay.
The Midwest. This would have been Daniel Boone and the frontier.
They've been there.
Mm-hmm.
They've been there.
The Daniel Boone Fort, yeah.
Well,
as a Swede, you were playing. We call it. We were playing Indians and Cowboys.
Right.
We were playing one team was Indians and another team was Cowboys, and we were playing. We always grew up with American, movies and westerns and stuff.
Clint Eastwood and John Wayne.
Yeah.
And
the American music also.
Right.
The rock music and everything. So we grown up with that. So the Swede, they were saying when I grew up that the things happening in US, 10 years after that, it comes to Sweden.
Right.
But now that has speeding up, of course.
Right.
So we are catching up.
I had someone on my show about a couple of weeks ago who was from America, but she's going to school in Wales. Yeah. And she commented that the music they're listening to over there in Wales is American music from 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like Britney Spears when she first came out and stuff like that. Yeah. So the best of American music, Britney Spears.
Yes. But even the young people in Sweden, they listen to, old 70s, 80s music. They love it. So there are great melodies.
Right.
And great songs.
Can you hear the difference between our accents, my accent and his accent?
I can hear just a little bit of the difference.
You can?
Yeah. Is it a huge difference to you all?
Well, for me it is. But I remember when I first moved to America, I could not hear the difference between a Californian accent and a Kentucky accent, because everything sounded the same. But they flew in January the 8th, and that was this exact date when I moved to America. So we celebrated our first year in America together. But when I first moved, I couldn't hear a difference or anything. But now I can kind of discern where you're from, if you're from the southern parts or up north.
But when I talked to your neighbor the other day, he was so confused.
He's Hispanic.
Yeah, he thought I was an American, and he thought to himself, I wonder what that guy is coming from, that dialect.
Well, even in Kentucky we have, if you go over to Pike County, Kentucky, there's a very distinct accent.
That's where my dad's from.
From Pike County?
He's
from
yeah.
Right.
Now, we haven't talked a lot to... Richard's dominating the show, but
yeah, I understand.
Because he's so interesting. Having someone from Sweden, it's not every day I've had someone from another country on my show, but you're from Winchester.
I am.
That's another country as well.
No, Pike County is.
Well, Pike County is.
Where my dad's
as
from.
well. Yes. But you married Jakob. How long ago?
We married on 9/11 in 2014.
2014. So it's a little over a year that you all have been married.
So I married a foreigner
So
on
where
9/11.
did you meet him?
My dad met him in Africa, and my dad had his phone and he FaceTimed me, and he said, "Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you think he's good looking." So he was pretending to text, and he was videotaping him in this hotel in Africa.
She fell in love immediately.
And I like put 2 thumbs up, and I was like, yes. And then I added him on Facebook, and we talked on Facebook for about 6 months before I actually met him in person. And then it just confirmed my feelings for him. And we Skyped and stuff, so we video chatted, so I knew what he looked like. And we read the Bible to each other over the internet, so we fell in love with each other spiritually before we met
Which
physically.
is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's better than meeting someone at a bar or something.
Well,
to me.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So, so your dad kind of saw something in him. What was your dad doing in Africa?
My dad is a pastor in Winchester, and he pastors about 300 people around there. And so he was over there doing a missionary work as well as with him, and they just met each other in a hotel. It was like a coffee ceremony.
Right.
Ethiopians are real big on coffee. That's where Starbucks gets their coffee from.
Sweets are too.
From Ethiopia.
So they just had this huge coffee ceremony, and that's when they met. After it was at the end of the whole crusade. They kind of celebrate. So.
Well, cool.
Yeah, they were doing crusades, and Ethiopians like coffee, and they have their traditions, and they sit and roast their coffee, and so. And we met them there. They were having a crusade. I was actually out traveling. I didn't have a crusade, but we were out in different churches, having conferences and speaking to the youths and doing a little different ministry.
Now, how old are you?
I'm 22.
22. And how old are you?
23.
Okay, so
I'm the older one.
You're the
She's a
older
mature one.
I'm his elder, so he has to listen to me.
And he's not saying anything, so it must be true.
No,
He knows better.
we wait until after the show. We will we'll talk it out.
That's a neat story. I mean, it's not every day that you have a dad, checking out, the potential husband over FaceTime.
Yeah.
And then y'all grow together over Facebook, especially doing spiritual things like reading the Bible together and stuff like that.
It's amazing how it works, actually. I remember my dad's just, 10 years ago or something, he told me, how great will it be when you can speak to another one and actually see him on the screen? And that was before the touch phones and stuff.
Right.
And so that's kind of how we have been talking with each other, seeing each other on the screen, because I lived in Sweden,
Now, at that time, you were in Africa.
Yeah.
A missionary
Yeah.
journey or an event.
Yeah. Yeah, we are, that year I was 4 times in Ethiopia within just 12 months.
Now, Dad, your son going off to Ethiopia, a very war-torn country, that had to have been difficult for you, but also as a preacher, very proud of him for willing to put his life on the line for the gospel?
Yeah, we understood early that there were a calling upon Jakob's life. So we had prayed for that during these years. So it was a dream come true. I've been with him.
Oh, you have in
Ethiopia
Ethiopia?
also. Yes, I have. So that's lovely. But when he were a teenager, he said, no, I don't want to do that. No, he was younger.
Yeah, I said, I don't want to be a pastor.
No,
I
I want to be a
preacher.
soccer pro and so don't talk to me about that. But you have a calling on your life, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how, sometimes we say, well, I don't want to ever do that. I'm not ever going to do that. And God has other, other plans for you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had asked me, 30 years ago, would I be a preacher? I would have said no.
I didn't want to be a preacher's wife.
And then I'm pastor in the church here in Cynthiana as well. If you had asked me, would you be mayor in 30 years? I say no. Don't want to do that, but God has different plans for us at different stages in our lives. And
It's so fun because that's the very thing I said. I said, Dad, I don't want to be a preacher, certainly not a pastor. And here I am today in America, and I'm a pastor. Actually, someone prayed for my mom, and he actually prophesied and said, you and your family will come to America one day. And that's a prophecy, a dream come true. A prophecy has been fulfilled. And
Almost 20 years ago.
We're going to take a break here on Coffee Break Extra. We'll be right back here on WCYN.
In these faster times, a company must streamline to remain strong. So, Woodman of the World Life Insurance is changing something we haven't changed in 125 years. Our name. Call us Woodman Life.
For more information on
Back in the studio with
Jacob.
Shana.
Shana, like banana.
Shana.
Banana.
You told me that. Like
Shana
banana. I want
banana.
to say Shanana. But it's
That's a
Shana.
nice name too.
And Richard and Richard's wife.
Behind the scenes.
Who doesn't want to speak, but who we're going to hear on a song, right?
Yeah. She will sing a song actually.
Because I remember you telling me when you were here before that your family has a band.
Yeah.
And I think we actually played a song, didn't we?
We did. We played a rock song last time, but today we will sing a little calm song.
A calmer song.
A calmer song.
Okay.
So what do you call it? Ballad? No.
A ballad.
A ballad.
Yeah.
A ballad.
Yeah.
Ballad is Swedish. It's not English.
Yes, we've been doing a lot of different songs. We do the writing.
We are
Even
making
the
a
lyrics.
country CD right now.
A country
can you
CD.
believe, Can you believe it? We do the lyrics on English.
So you do the lyrics in English.
Yeah, we do.
Now, how many people speak English? Is that something that
Everyone.
They say
I can
90% speak fluent.
90% is fluent?
Yeah.
So if you're an American that speaks nothing else, going to Sweden
Well,
as
they
a
speak
tourist,
Swedish, but if you come as a tourist, they will speak English too because they love practicing their English.
Yeah,
Right.
it makes it harder for me to learn.
Yeah, she
Because
can.
everyone wants to practice their English on me.
And she want to practice her Swedish.
So, how many times have you been over to Sweden?
I went last summer for a month, and then last December for all of December, and then when we got engaged, and that was about 3 weeks. So I stayed almost 3 months over there. And
That's a benefit of marrying a foreigner.
oh yeah, I've never been to Europe before in my whole entire life until I met him.
Yeah.
So, and the first time I ever went to Europe, I got proposed to. So it was.
And for all of you that wonder where Sweden is, it's actually it's many people mix Switzerland. They think Sweden is Switzerland, but it's another country, and it's right beside Norway. And then you have Greenland above Sweden, and then you have the Antarctic. So it's very up north, up there.
Very, very cold weather during the wintertime.
It's about like this right now.
Right now.
And their summer, they say, is the best day of the year because it's only one day because it stays so cold.
For 6 months, like Alaska. Well, we're going to listen to this song. You want to introduce the song? Or Richard?
This song is it has been played on many funerals and in many churches because it's about Jesus. I love you. I will meet you in paradise, and it's just an expression of our love to Jesus.
And this is your family.
Yeah, it's my mom singing,
Your mom
my dad
singing.
singing, and my brother's playing.
Okay.
Yes, and my our oldest son and I, we did the music and the lyrics.
Okay.
will see you with my own eyes. I will see you pay the price. I will see it all in heaven.
Jesus, I love you. Oh, how I love you. You are my treasure. You are my all. Jesus, I love you. Oh, how I love you. You are my treasure. You are my all.
That was Jakob's mom and dad. When did you, Richard? When did you all record that? I mean, how old is that?
Is it 3 years or?
3 years?
I think so. Or 2 years? 2 years.
I have no idea. I
Oh.
can't remember. I don't have the best memory.
It's very worshipful. I could see us singing that in church.
Yeah.
As
We've
part
been
of
doing
our
that on
worship
funerals and-
song.
Yeah.
And you have a beautiful voice. Absolutely
you.
beautiful. Both of you do.
Yeah, thank you.
And your
I
English.
was waiting on that.
You were waiting on your English is. I mean, it's like it's your native language, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm so proud of him.
It's very, very good. So, and music is part of y'all's life. I can tell. As a family as well.
Yeah.
Always has been.
I learned to play when I was 12 and start to be on stage when I was 12 years. And I've done that, for 40 years, over 40 years. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Oh, great.
I really love it.
Well, good.
Yeah, we play rock and roll,
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
was,
that's what he played last
yeah,
time he was
yes.
here. Some rock and roll.
And I was so small, I couldn't reach, that accord up.
Way up
Way
high.
up high. It was difficult for me with my short arms.
And it's
I was a
crazy.
little tiny guy.
All the older people in Sweden, they love rock and roll, and so it's so
Yeah.
weird when you see all these grandpas and grandmas with like piercings, and they listen to like heavy metal, and
Yeah.
like here we like banjos and bluegrass, like bang
Right.
to bang bang. So, so
How'd that go again?
bang to bang bang. So it's crazy to see like all the older people like
Yeah.
rocking out. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
but we like we like country too though. So
Yeah, we
that's the
work-
reason why we are actually making a country CD now, because we want to
Yeah.
sell a CD here in Kentucky.
Yeah.
In
and-
Kentucky, yeah, you have to be
Country
country.
folk
Nashville
music.
and-
Yeah, folk songs.
Now, y'all said something very interesting on the break. Y'all are looking. You would like to move here eventually, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
when it's possible.
Yeah.
So
The
we
thing
want to
the thing
come.
is, when I got my green card, my lawyer told me that it will take me 3 years after my green card, then I can apply for a citizenship. And when I've got that citizenship, I can sponsor them.
Only
Another
his
w-
parents though, not your
Only my
brothers.
parents, but not my brothers. Another way can be a visa, working visa, but that's harder. You need to be a doctor, or
Right.
you need to have some skills that no American have, and that's hard to have skills like that. And or you can have a religious visa,
Right.
so you can be employed by a church and come over.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Now, this is your first time in America. This visit, right?
No,
No.
we have been here several times. I don't
Several
know
times.
how many.
Two
but
more times they
2 other
came
times.
when I first met Jakob.
Mhm.
They all came with
Yeah.
him, so that was nerve wracking.
I bet that was.
Everyone's staring at us the first time we meet, and then they came back in the summer and we went to like Nashville, so
Oh.
they got to
Country
see.
music
One-
capital.
And
of
the
the
first
world.
time we went to Florida, we liked that.
They went to Disney World
Yeah.
the first time and went to a buffalo farm, trying to show them America because they liked the
Yeah.
buffaloes.
Right.
And
I
then
put
now they're
them
here.
buffalo's skin
The
on.
buffalo clothing.
Yeah, I was a real frontier.
Now the third time in Cynthiana.
So coming to America, I guess you see us on TV and on the news. That's probably all the bad
Yeah,
stuff that they
since I was
show.
little.
What did you think? What's the biggest difference that you saw being a tourist here?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Yes, I see a special freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see the people. That's the biggest difference I think. There are...
Hospitality.
yes, and they say, excuse me.
They open the door for
Yeah,
you.
They don't say please.
And not...
They
not,
don't.
Yeah, not one, just one or 2 or 3 persons. All, everyone
Yeah.
are like that when...
They think
And the smaller towns you get, the more that's the case.
Yeah, on the island, it's different on the island. You know, but when you come to the bigger cities and stuff,
you open a door for someone and they're just like, what are you doing?
Right.
And you don't say
Right.
please because it sounds like you're begging. So, and here it's polite to say please.
Please and thank you. And
Yeah.
I like the attitude.
yeah.
That's interesting
Yeah.
that you see that.
It's a lot of culture differences, of course, and well, everything is new. I didn't expect it to be new like that because you've seen American TV and I thought it would probably be the same, but it's. For example, we were on our way here now this morning, and my dad wondered, what is that big thing there? And I said, that's a water tower, because we don't have water towers looking
look
like
weird.
you all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, I mean, from water towers, from...
And the squirrels look different.
Yeah.
The squirrels look different.
Yeah.
Animals looks different. I mean, you have...
Birds and everything.
We have squirrels that it's red and it's tall coat, what do you call that? The hair is very...
The tail is a really big, bushy red squirrel. And it what's that thing? Looks like a little chipmunk or something. So everything's different.
And then that you need to speak English all the time, that's also different.
Right.
You get really tired in your head. You have to think in English and so.
Well, that's interesting. We'll talk a little bit more about the differences, and you want to mention your revival when
Yeah.
we come back from this break. We're going to take a break right here, and then we'll be right back on Coffee Break Extra.
Ewald Jewelers on Main, across from the courthouse in Cynthiana, is your one stop for clock and watch needs. From replacing a band or battery to replacing the movement, Steve Ewald repairs jewelry, resize, remount, or change your stone setting. All repairs completed on location with top quality. Diamonds, precious and semi-precious stones, fine jewelry, crystal, wedding and baby gifts. Custom orders are also available for your unique gift-giving needs. Call Ewald Jewelers on Main, 234-3741.
Change your career, change your life. It all starts here on the hilltop at the Licking Valley campus. Spring classes will begin on January 11th. Register now. Don't delay. Visit www.maysville.kctcs.edu for a complete listing of classes or call 859-234-8626. It's never too late to begin.
Coffee Break Extra is streaming live online right now at WCYN.com.
Welcome back to Coffee Break Extra here on WCYN. We have Jakob from New Beginnings Worship Center. We don't want to forget that.
New Beginnings Worship
plug in
and
that.
Sweden.
And Sweden. Yes.
And Winchester.
Winchester. You have a revival coming up at your church. We want to make sure we get that in there before we...
Exactly. Yeah, that's almost the main reason why we're here. The revival, we will have 3 nights. It will start on this Sunday, which will be the 17th. It's normal service time, 6 p.m. I think I will preach that Sunday night. And then it will continue on to Monday, which is the 18th, of course. We will have a guest preacher called Jakob Daniel White from Flemingsburg. And that service will start 7 p.m. So people can come home from work and make their way to church. And then the 19th, my wife's dad here will preach, Ryan Dotson.
The best preacher besides my husband.
I announced this last time in church, and I said we will have Ryan Dotson preach on the 19th, and she shouted, "That's the best preacher!" and
I laugh in the church.
I don't know. I thought I was the best preacher, but no, Ryan is the best preacher. So
No, you're the best. He's the second best.
we are having people texting me here saying that we are doing awesome here actually. So
Well, good.
yeah, my phone is ringing here.
Awesome is good. It's so neat that you come from a family. You're a preacher's kid.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, who married a preacher.
Yeah.
Didn't think that would happen.
Well, that doesn't usually happen because preachers' kids have a certain reputation.
Oh yeah. They do.
And you seem to have shoved that off. And
she was so nervous when she first met me.
Well, I bet she was.
Because
you brought your family with you.
It was so nerve-wracking. I didn't know, because I wanted to show him I like him, but since he was a minister, like, how do you do that?
Right.
Should I hold his hand? Is that too much? Or because we were walking around Disney World, and I wanted to hold his hand so bad, but I didn't know, like, what to do. It's so.
The Bible says, "Greet one another with a holy kiss."
That's right. It does.
and
we read that together.
When we were Skyping on the computer online, we read the Bible together, and that's the first scripture we read. Actually, we read Romans. Is it chapter 16 and verse 16 actually, and we came to that verse. I don't know. It was just funny.
We just read it and like looked at each other through the computer, and we're like, okay, you have to do this. The Bible tells you
it's
to.
A command. He's got to do it.
But we didn't. I was so nervous. No.
Because we had never met at that time when we read that scripture.
I bet you were nervous.
And she was nervous because she had grew up in a church. Her dad is a phenomenal preacher. And, she would have to listen to me all her life, for the rest of her life preaching. And if I would be a bad preacher, if I couldn't preach good, she would have to attend all the services and listen to me all the time.
Right.
And she was hoping I was a good preacher.
Yeah.
But I guess.
So you never heard him preach before?
He preached.
He never sent a CD. He never,
No.
shared a YouTube video.
I heard like little clips of him in Africa or something. He made a video.
There's some YouTube clips out there from Africa. And
but besides that, no, he preached in the church in our church the first time. The first time he came here.
At that time.
You are a woman of great faith.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, great faith. I have to be with him.
Now, tell us just a little bit about your church, New Beginnings, that people may want to know, if they decide they want to come out.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I'm really enjoying it. I started to be a pastor there in September, and since then we have actually tripled the
night service.
The night services in attendance. So we are not only twice as many people during night service. We have tripled the crowd, and it's growing. And we're
there's so much love there too. When you walk through the doors, it's not like condemnation. It's just people greet you and they just want to love on you. And
that's the way it's supposed
beautiful.
to be.
Mm-hmm. It's so beautiful.
That's the way church is supposed to be.
A hospital. Not a perfect place for perfect people, but a hospital.
Yeah. Right. You can go on Facebook and find us actually, New Beginners Worship Center, and there's people there writing reviews about the church. Many people has been writing, I went there for my first time. I felt so welcomed, and I love the church. I love the people. So, it feels great. I love it.
Good.
I love it.
And the beautiful thing is that me and Jakob are some of the youngest people in the church.
We are the youth group there.
Yeah. And most of the people who attend are older, and they respect me and Jakob. And I think that's wonderful how they want to see the young people grow in church. And that's what I have to say that our church is really good about too.
Well, as an American Christian, one of the things that concerns me the most is the lack of young people. The millennials that are abandoning the faith of, their parents and their grandparents.
Or even being more loose about church, like being more lenient about things that are controversial.
Right.
About the church. So it's like some of them believe in God, but they live any lifestyle they want.
Right. Right. Are the belief, the universal belief that, all paths go, to the same God. That's obviously not. That can't be true.
Jesus said, I am the way, I'm the truth, and I'm the life. No one can come to the Father except through me.
Right. So that's something that really concerns me. So I love seeing young people, in the ministry, hoping that, that's going to lead to a revival of young people coming back to the church.
Amen.
That's what we're praying for.
Now in Sweden have you all seen this as well? Young people abandoning the faith. How is the religious climate in Europe?
Yeah, there's a revival starting a little bit, and it comes, you know, the Hillsongs, and there are a church in Gothenburg, the second city, where we live outside Gothenburg on the islands, and there's a Hillsong church, if you say, and in Stockholm, the Hillsong church there is the fastest growing in Sweden right now.
It's a lot of
They
youths
baptize the
coming
most
to Christ.
Yeah, so it's an ongoing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's something coming.
But at the same time, many churches have to shut down. I think it's between 1 to 2 Pentecostal churches a week. Is it a month?
I don't know.
They have to shut down, but it's a revival going on
but then
among
new
the
churches
youth.
coming.
You know, the young people.
Yeah.
Right. That's good. One of the stats that I heard just a couple years ago was that 4,000 churches in America close their doors every year.
Wow.
Which is troubling. But at the same time, you know, that there are churches that
new churches coming.
New churches that are
Yeah,
coming to replace some of the old ones, because a church does have a life cycle.
Yeah.
And
I know, like in Winchester, we have some smaller community churches. How they were all spread out within the county, like out in the county, and some of the bigger churches in Winchester, the city, has taken over some of those smaller churches. So technically, I guess some of those churches have closed down, but the bigger churches are taking control because they don't want to see them close down.
Right.
So they'll use that church for different functions. Like they'll go out there out in the country and read Bible scriptures together, all the elderly, or something like that. So I know that some of that's going on. So I don't know if that's part of the stats or not.
Well, that's what I noticed too when we came to America. There's churches everywhere.
there are.
There's so many
Everywhere.
churches. I mean, in every village, it's, you know, it doesn't have to be the biggest church, but it's a small church somewhere, everywhere, out in the country, wherever you go, it's a church.
Should be that way too.
Well, that's right. There should be a church
That's
somewhere
not the
near.
fact in Sweden.
It's
So
not.
we talked about it on the way here.
Yeah.
We talked about it yesterday.
He was sitting in the car. It's a
Everywhere.
church there. It's a
Yes,
church there.
Everywhere, and different kind of churches.
And that's what I like with
What's
our
that
church.
for? What's that for?
There were a couple years ago. There were 70 churches in Harrison County alone.
Wow.
Wow.
Which, and now a lot of those are your little small country churches, you know, that may have, you know, 1 or 2 families that are still hanging on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say of the bigger churches, there's probably, 30.
Yeah, and I think like with the youth, they don't want to see like grandma and grandpa in church. They kind of want to be at a bigger church where they can see their friends.
Right.
So I think that's why the bigger churches are getting bigger.
Right.
So
Right. And parents are looking for something for
their youth.
their kids and their teens to be connected. And that's very important as well. But come on out to the revival.
Yeah.
This Sunday, the 17th at 6 p.m. is the start.
Right.
And then it runs
The Monday and Tuesday
Monday
will be
and
7
Tuesday
p.m.
at 7. Yeah. Come on out. New Beginnings Worship Center.
103 Marshall Avenue.
Yes.
Not that
Marshall
much.
Avenue. Now, I've got to ask, because we talked about it before, but Sweden, you all said, was responsible for the founding of America, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
they take credit,
Oh, yeah.
even though our history books don't say so.
The Vikings.
The
From-
Vikings.
Vikings come from Sweden.
Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't know anything about American football,
Man.
but I'm a Minnesota Viking fan.
I bet you are.
Because it's in the name there. So the Vikings come from Sweden. It's actually not from Norway. The Norwegians had some Vikings, but Sweden is the main Viking country.
Right.
Yeah.
And they spread all over the world. And his name is Leif Erikson, I think.
Yeah.
And he was the first one to discover America, actually. And so we...
See,
that's
It's
what they teach in their
our-
history books.
That's what they teach.
Yeah, that's just show you history is not the same all around the world.
Well, it's whoever writes the history book gets to determine what the history is. So
Exactly.
that's why it's very interesting to compare the
Yeah,
views.
they thought
Like if
we
you
had-
go to England, we're still the colonies.
And they think that we had 52 states. That's what they taught them, that we had
Long
50,
time ago.
52 states, even though we have 50. So just like
What were those other two? Canada, Mexico.
I think... I think we thought that America, had 50 states, and then we had Hawaii and Alaska.
Okay.
And, well, I don't know. That mixed it up. I don't know. So, I have to mention this. We have a crusade. We were talking about this last time in this show. I was talking about a crusade, upcoming crusade, which would be in Azusa,
Ethiopia.
in Ethiopia, to the border of Sudan. But we had to cancel that crusade because it was too dangerous. there's been it's so much history, so much going on right there now. In the 1940s, the town was actually captured by a Belgian force. 1990 something, and they were captured again. Different people groups were fighting the government, aerial attacks by the government, civil war, corruption. You know, it was a president there that was. It was just tense between the borders, but we really wanted to go in there and preach.
Right.
But we had to cancel it, and we are moving it south now. So please keep us in our prayers.
Yeah.
And
We'll have to have you on again to talk about more stuff. So let us know when you want to come on again. But we've come to the end of the show. I want to thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you
welcome to
very much.
Cynthiana.
Thanks.
Hopefully you enjoy your time here.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
You've been listening to Coffee Break Extra here on WCYN.
You've been listening to Genuine Country 1400 AM's Coffee Break Extra with James Smith. Today's program brought to you by our College on the Hill, MCTC Licking Valley Center, Ewald Jewelers on Main, by Bully Bashers. Down